So I wanted to do a video on production companies versus freelancers and who earns more. I kind of feel like I owe it to you guys because when I was starting out not that long ago, I was fascinated with knowing how much people should charge and how much people earn. And I was thinking long-term business structure into a production company, into having a solid business that will be there forever, opposed to freelance, which not necessarily, but is often quite a shorter lifespan. They say freelance is for younger people. And I have a lot of friends who are in various points of their career as freelancers, who are just starting out and who have been established for longer than I have. So I'm just going to kind of play devil's advocate and give my view on it from our standpoint as a production company and freelancers, and hopefully it gives you a bit of an insight into what route you might wish to take. So reinvestment is a key word that's going to be used throughout this and in both senses. As a freelancer, you will often reinvest in your equipment. And by the way, most people that go on to own a production company will come through that freelance route anyway. So do keep that in mind, because it may be that you start off as a freelance, but then you grow to become a production company later on. Or maybe you don't want that. Maybe you just want to remain freelance or make the jump straight away. But freelancers will generally reinvest their money into equipment to make sure they've got the best stuff, so they get picked by the agencies for the jobs that are coming up. Now, as a production company, when you start to grow, your investment is still there, your reinvestment, it's just different. You start to employ people and you start to reinvest into people, whether that's a sales team, a marketing team, filmers, photographers, in-house editors, things like that. So there is a sacrifice, and it does take that money away from reinvesting into equipment. So it's just how the money's spent differently. And you'll know at any given point in your career what the best thing to do is. But normally the investment comes in equipment first and then into staffing as you grow. And the equipment takes kind of a back seat, but it depends what kind of line of work you're doing. Often we'll get a job where it's coming in to us, and we'll pitch for it, and if we win the pitch, we will then buy the equipment needed for that job based on that. And you can rent, but I think if you've got it in-house, there's a bit more to play with and it's yours, and you've got the resale value should you go to sell it later on. So let's get into kind of facts and figures here. Now, when you're starting out as a freelancer, you can't be charging £500 a day. Well, you can be, but I very doubt if you've got the portfolio to prove your worth, that you're going to be able to get any clients at that level. So when you're starting out, freelancers will often work around about £100 a day upwards. They might do a lot of passion projects to build their portfolios. Now, what we're going to talk about here is not about what you should be charging, but what freelancers typically charge versus what production companies charge, and the money in that. If you have a solid portfolio and you've been in the industry for a while, will charge on average somewhere around £500 a day, including their equipment, and it is equipment led as a freelancer. Now, you are reliant on the fact as a freelancer that you build up relationships within agencies that pass you work and you collaborate with many people because the work isn't set. Whereas what was attractive to me as a production company owner was to have those clients in-house. So we can outsource to freelancers if we need to, but we can have those clients and we know that we're a bit more stable for the long term. Like I said before, really thinking about bigger picture and what suits you the best, there's a sacrifice here, and production companies will generally charge more, often be around about £1,000 a day because they have a lot more overheads. At the moment in time, it can be seen multiple ways, and sometimes I look at my friends who are established in the industry and I think, if I had taken that route, there is no doubt in my mind that I would make more money than I'm probably making now. If I really put all of my work ethic to that, I could make more money as a freelancer. However, that does require me to work all the hours of the day. I wouldn't have a good work-life balance, whereas at the moment I work generally 9 to 5 and manage a team of people, and I'm thinking about the future here. A business that in a few more years' time will run itself and I won't necessarily be needed. I can look to sell in the future, I can look to franchise, I can look to grow it so there's 50 plus people here. There's lots and lots of options, whereas if I was just a freelancer, I would just be freelance by myself. And we did a live Q&A actually over on our Facebook group about this, and where I spoke with Beth, who has run multiple businesses, and she has been freelance for the best part of 8 years, and how now she's starting to think about slowing things down and providing a stable platform which she can then build a business from. So I hope in a roundabout way, this gives you a bit more of an idea. So in the short term, you're gonna earn more money as a freelancer, but in the long term, you have the potential to own a multi-million pound business that you're not gonna achieve if you remain freelance. So just some food for thought. I hope you found this informative, and like and comment with any other ideas that you guys have, and we'll start to create some videos on that.